According to a new report from Politico, Donald Trump is furious over the fact that his campaign, much like his life for the last 4 years and his presidential administration the 4 years before that and his presidential campaign the year before that, is plagued with leakers. No matter what happens behind the scenes with Donald Trump, there is always somebody in his tight-knit orbit willing to spill all the beans to the press. And Donald Trump, according to the report, is, quote, beyond pissed because he can't root these leakers out. Even when he is told by his staff who is leaking, nothing happens to that individual because Donald Trump just might be pissed, but he's still not taking the initiative that you want to see in a leader to get rid of the people spilling all their secrets to the press. So here is what is happening according to this report from Politico. Obviously, there are multiple leakers, but one of the people that his staff has told him specifically, like, this dude is leaking, is a man by the name of Cliff Sims. And the reason his staff is accusing Sims of being a leaker is because several years ago, Sims leaked a lot of stuff in a book he wrote called Team of Vipers. Yet for some reason, even though he exposed everything, including all of the backstabbing taking place during Trump's administration, he was still given a job with the campaign and apparently on the transition team. So the staffers have gone up to Donald Trump and said, listen, this guy is bad news. He's a leaker. And Trump was then given a dossier on Sims that included excerpts from his book, which Donald Trump obviously had never read. And here's what happened. After an aide put a folder of clips about Sims and his book on Trump's desk, he exploded. Trump was beyond pissed, according to one of the people familiar with the confrontation, and demanded Sims be removed. Yet, as of this past Friday, Sims remains on the job and could be in line for a Plum administration post. And Sims has actually been defended by J.D. Vance, the vice president-elect. So Trump wants the guy gone. His staffers want the guy gone. J.D. Vance is sitting there saying, no, he's totally a good guy. We can absolutely trust him, right? He wrote a tell-all book about what was happening in the administration. Okay, that's pretty much about as big of a leak as you can get because he actually profited off of it. Right? The other people that are leaking stories like this one to Politico, they don't get paid. You know, they're not getting money off this. They don't have a financial incentive to do it. Sims did, and he took that opportunity and made some money off of it. I, for one, personally hope that Sims does end up in the administration, right? A guy that you know is going to be leaking stuff to the press, that seems like a very valuable thing to have in the administration. Not if you're Trump, though. But what gets me about this story is that Sims was already on the staff years after he published his book. And Trump didn't know it, like either didn't know who he was, didn't know he had hired him, didn't know he wrote a book, didn't know any of it until his staffers recently, like within the last week, had to hand him stuff and be like, hey, here's the dude you've been trusting for God knows how long. He's like, oh my God, this is terrible. Fire the guy. Is that really the kind of person we want serving in the White House? Somebody that doesn't do the research till after it's too late to do it? Because that's what Donald Trump is. That's what this story tells us. It's kind of a shoot first, ask questions later type situation. And trust me, that never ends well for the United States. One of today's video sponsors is Ground News. While this presidential election is one of the most pivotal in recent history, the outcome doesn't determine everything. The issues that plague our democracy, like disinformation and right-wing extremism, aren't disappearing with the next administration. It's essential we stay vigilant, informed, and critically engaged. So let's talk about Ground News. They're an independent, nonpartisan platform I'm working with because they're dedicated to exposing any hidden agenda influencing the news that you consume, like which way an outlet politically leans, how credible their reporting is, and who funds them. Use their browser extension, app, or website to instantly access every perspective reporting on any issue, compare coverage, and avoid being manipulated. Plus, my Vantage plan gets me access to features designed to expose opposing narratives circulating in left and right-wing media bubbles, plus my own blind spots too. I think it's critical to stay aware of more than just the headlines you agree with, because we know how easily Trump's lies spread and the impact it will continue to have for a very long time. So go to ground.news/ROF or scan my QR code for credible news you can trust and confidently share with others. My viewers get a massive discount on the same top-tier Vantage plan that I use. With everything at stake, we can't afford to not pay attention, so subscribe today. The fight for democracy doesn't stop after November 5th. It's just getting started.